Hi, my name is Scott Kurtz, and I'm going to be presenting my interactive web tool that I've selected. This will be the first of three short presentations or videos to familiarize you with the web tool. And the first one's going to focus on what is the web tool, how I would use it in the classroom, and what features it includes. The web tool, the interactive web tool I've chosen is Socrative, and it was created by Mastery Connect. Socrative can give you immediate feedback, teacher and student. You can create a variety of different types of quizzes. You can use multiple choice questions, true, false, short answer. Students can use a number of devices, including computers, tablets, phones. And Socrative is very user friendly, easy to learn, and it's absolutely free. For my classroom, the way I would envision using it would be as a formative assessment tool. With each class, you will have a set of objectives, goals, or standards. You will have targeted instruction, and then at the end of each class, you will assess what the students will hopefully have gained. And using Socrative gives you immediate feedback as to whether or not the students understood the goal and achieved it that day. And then you can reassess and move forward after they've taken the Socrative quiz. Some of the features that come with Socrative is you can create a quiz, you can share a quiz with your colleagues, you can create a quick question on the fly. Space Race is a review activity. Exit tickets are a way to either give the students something before they walk out the door to gauge what they learned, or even possibly homework. And you can manage the results that you receive on the screen. Alright, so the first feature was to create a quiz. So that's kind of the whole purpose of the tool, is for you to come up with questions and then have the students complete those questions to see whether or not they've learned. So you would then choose for each question, however many you want, which type of question, short answer, multiple choice, true, false, and then you can add images and explanations if you need to. Another nice feature is, in my situation, I am one of 4 7th grade social studies teachers at my school. So if we wanted to put our heads together and create a quiz for whatever purpose, a benchmark, a unit exam, even a preview, if we all wanted to collaborate and do it together, the program, we would just make one quiz, and then we would get a code, and we would just each enter the code at our own individual workstations, and the quiz would be saved there digitally for all of us to use. And we could even share it with other teachers anywhere. If you are online, you can share it. Quick question is something that it's a nice feature. It's I don't know how accessible it would be, because the students would still have to log in. That's the one worry I would have. But there's sometimes those questions that come up, and you have the same kids raising their hands or shouting out or wanting to participate, and then you're not ever really sure whether the wallflower or the kid that's sort of reluctant to raise their hand actually is involved or knows what's going on. So quick question is simply you type in a quick question, as it's stated, and every student would have to log in and answer it, so you could get 100% understanding immediately as to what the students are thinking. So it could be a check for understanding, but it also could be a survey type question. Space Race is probably the one that at the middle school level where I teach, it would be the most enjoyed by the students, just because of the graphics. You choose an icon, racing rockets, a bumblebee, a unicorn, and then as you answer questions correctly, your image goes across the screen, and it is what it sounds like. It's a race to see if you can get your icon across the screen first. Exit tickets, I would envision this being something each student would answer either daily before they leave the classroom or weekly. I've also had thoughts of possibly using it as a homework idea as we move towards a more online and digital classroom feel, having the students access online and answer how well did they understand the material, what did they learn, and they would have to type that in, so they couldn't just select something and guess. They would have to physically type out what they learned, and then a content or a couple content questions as either review from that day or something to pique their interest for the next day's lesson. Every time the students access and answer questions, the results are saved, and then Socrative does on screen, or you can transfer the results to a report. So you can get if you have Microsoft, you can do an Excel spreadsheet, and then there's two other examples I'm going to show you here in a moment for the students. So this is the first one, where on the left hand side you would see each student. If you wanted to, you could either email or print an actual paper copy of the quiz they took. You have the digital results on the right hand side of the screen, green meaning they got it right, red wrong. You could take the results there, the percentages, the numbers right and wrong, put them into the grade book. But if you wanted to send a paper copy home, or email, like I said, you can get a copy to the student. Alright, the positives of Socrative, from what I can obtain, is compatibility. It works with pretty much any device you can think of. The second would be it would replace other types of systems that would have actual hardware, like a student clicker system. I know I currently have smart response clickers in my classroom, and I've had some issues with corrosive batteries, buttons falling off, clickers going missing, students accidentally putting them in their book bag, things like that. Can't happen with Socrative. It's a login, it's an internet based, it replaces the hardware. It gauges classroom understanding, it has visual elements to it, you can be a pre and post test. The idea you can share it with other teachers, and then tracking students understanding real time. Potential challenges with any technology, it's going to be time consuming on the front end. Creating all of the things digitally takes time, but then once you've done it, the fact that you can share it, share with other teachers, use it again if it was effective in the future, it's just that front end of creating. Technology problems within your building could cause an issue with this. If you've planned to use Socrative that day and there's an issue with the internet, the Wi-Fi, in the higher grades, if you expected your students to have cell phones and somebody doesn't have one, things like that, missing devices, not enough computers for the room, something like that. Another sort of issue that I found with it was it's not compatible with Microsoft Word. So if you are a teacher who has a lot of pre-existing quizzes, tests already typed up in Word, there is no transfer. They don't read, they're not compatible, so you would have to re-input all of the questions. Alright, I'm going to come back to these two later. And this is just an example, and I'm going to show you how I would create this. But this is just a quiz that I had made. 5 questions, multiple choice, true, false, short answer, true, false. And then I had students log in so I could show that the reports came out as so. Alright, and I will be sharing the next two concepts on the next 2 videos. Thank you.